Today is May 7th, so it's about time that I do another Dr. Sadler channel update to fill people in on what happened during the very, very, very busy month of April, and to talk a bit about what's coming up in May, or rather, in part, what's happened in May already, and then the rest about what's coming up. So let me just jump right in to April. A lot of events, a lot of speaking engagements, which is great. But it took, along with having classes and everything else, it really kept me busy. So there were two conferences that I went to and presented papers at. Both of the papers were about St. Anselm. The first one was actually at St. Anselm's College. It was the fifth, and they do these every 2 or 3 years, St. Anselm Conference, hosted by the Institute for St. Anselm Studies, with whom I've had a long-term affiliation. It's a great organization at a great school. And I presented a paper on Anselm and married life, which I'm eventually expanding into an article that I'm going to be sending out for publication, hopefully later on this summer. The other one was at Felician College at the Rutherford campus in New Jersey, and there I presented a paper. It was a little bit more esoteric, metaphysical content. It was about Anselm as a Neoplatonist and this notion of degrees of being and whether justice could be considered to be a degree of being. So if you're interested in those sorts of things, the videos are available. I linked to it in the description of this video. I also did a Dr. Sadler Philosophy Forum with my friend Morris Stern. These are Google Hangouts on Air that I've been doing, first on my own and then with guests. And it's not like a regular Google Hangout. You can't participate in it, by being involved with video yourself, so that you're on the screen. But you can ask questions, make comments, and we try to address them as we're doing it. It's a live event, but you can also see the footage of it. What else? Oh, I did a talk with some students from the Culinary Institute of America. During one of the class sessions, I came in as a guest lecturer. They had read Daniel Boulud's Letters to a Young Chef, and they'd also read Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet, which is a work that I'm particularly interested in. I'm interested in Boulud as well, but I really love Rilke. And I talked with them about some of the key themes. There's actually a lot of back and forth, so if you're interested in that one, the video for that is available as well. I did a talk with a local group that is so secretive, so organic, that they don't want me to mention their name, so I won't. I did a talk about mindfulness and how a lot of what we call mindfulness today, we can find many of those ideas in ancient philosophy, in the classic philosophical tradition in the West, not just in Eastern philosophy, but also in the West. And that Western philosophy provides us, particularly with like Plato or Aristotle or Epictetus, with a nice framework for making sense out of what it exactly we want mindfulness for, what mindfulness is actually supposed to contribute. So that was kind of nice. I'm going to talk about the Glimpses into Existence series, the existentialism series I've been doing at the library, but we pushed the April one into May because of the weird calendar, month thing because of Easter. So that'll, come up a little bit later. I also did not just two radio shows. I contributed to 2 radio shows, I'll put it to you that way. There's Theology Matters with the Pelus, and I've been a guest on there before. I came on again. I've been involved with something that kept me busy on Thursday nights, so I wasn't able to do those for quite a while, and now I'm able to. So I did one in April, and I talked about Augustine on Truth and Lying, and it was a really fun show. So if you want to, that one, there's no video footage. If you want to hear it, I'll give you a link to the podcast in the description. I also did more work with the punk rock philosopher. This is a guy down in Texas who is really into continental philosophy. He's also interested in some classical things as well, and he does a really extraordinary job picking out musical selections, mixing them in with some discussion about themes in, say, Nietzsche, or this month it was really a lot of Dostoevsky, and I'll be doing more stuff with him. He also worked with Morris and did some stuff on Kant. So that's really kind of a fun, offbeat, kind of, how would you describe it? It's something very unusual. I don't see anybody else doing that sort of thing out there on the air. So, you know, you might give it a listen. It's really interesting stuff. I was busy with classes. My Marist classes are now coming to a close. I've been teaching ethics, which I've taught for a long time. I've been teaching Religion in America, which used to be a staple class of mine, and I taught it this semester for Marist, using a textbook that is new to me in the sense that I've never used it as a textbook, but I've read it before. And I've been busily developing this existentialism class for Oplerno, which is going to be an online 3-credit course. Once I have all the materials that I want developed for it, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist about this, then I submit it to Oplerno, and they, give me a little. They either give me a thumbs up, or they say, well, you need to put in a little bit more of this, or take out a little bit of that, and then they give me the thumbs up, and it's going to be offered. So something that a lot of viewers have been asking me about, when are you going to, they've always been asking me, when are you going to do a MOOC? I'm not going to do a MOOC, but I am going to do a class which you can sign up for. There is tuition for it, but you also get credit for it because Oplerno has sought and gotten accreditation from the state of Vermont, and they're now working with the regional accrediting body to get that as well. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work with that. That turns out to take quite a bit of time. You notice that I've done a lot of video work this last month. The Half-Hour Hegel series, I've been continuing with that. I made a firm commitment that I'm going to get through the entirety of the work, even though it's probably going to take about 2 years. You can see the conference and talk videos. I've linked to those in the description. And there's a lot of Religion in America videos from the class. Those are going to be drawing to a close. So now is a good time for me to shift to May. And why don't I actually just spring into what I'm going to be doing in terms of videos. So the Religion in America course, I've shot almost all of the videos for the semester that are going to be shot. I only have one more to do. I haven't released them all yet because it takes time to edit them and format things properly. And I also don't want to overload my viewers. But probably by the end of this next week, those will be finished up with. I would like to go back and revisit a lot of that material, and I might do another, whole lecture series on Religion in America at a later date, but I'm not going to worry about that this summer. Half-Hour Hegel, you're going to see quite a few more of those. I'm going to try to step it up to doing about 2, maybe even 3 a week, in part because, if I do 3 a week, then it won't take quite so long to actually get through the entire book. It's quite a project I laid myself in for with that, but a very worthwhile one. I'm getting a lot of good feedback from viewers who are finding the series useful, engaging, and that's really what I want out of it. I'm going to do some more of the 10 Shorts videos. I haven't done those for a little while, in part because I've been so busy with other projects and commitments, but I've got people asking me questions, so it's about time for me to do some more of those videos. I may do a few other personally oriented videos, but the bulk of what I'm going to be doing is actually catching up on lecture videos for the existentialism course, because in the Oplerno course I'm not using them as course videos, because we'll actually be having class sessions through video conferencing every week, but I am providing them as supplementary lecture videos. So I need to get some shot on de Beauvoir. I need to get some shot on Kafka. I need a few more ones on Sartre and probably on Heidegger. Trying to think of who else. I probably could use some more on Dostoevsky. So there's a number of different ones that I need to shoot. And once classes are finished with my face-to-face classes, that opens up a lot more time for me to get that sort of stuff done. I don't have as many events during May. I'm going to be doing 2 of the glimpses. Well, I've done one of the glimpses into existence library talks at the Kingston Library on existentialism. Very well attended. It was on Nietzsche, and we talked about a lot of the general themes of his work. Later this month, the 31st, I believe, of May, Saturday, 10:30, at the Kingston Public Library, I will be talking about Rilke, another great existentialist, a German language poet, also a novelist. He wrote a novel, and letter writer. A lot of his letters have some amazing metaphysical stuff in them. So that's coming up. I'll be doing another Dr. Sadler Philosophy Forum. I think I may this month do one without a guest and just decide to do something on my own. I haven't picked the topic yet. I might actually make it focus on existentialism, since hopefully the class on existentialism, I know the class will be finished. I don't know that Aplerno will be ready to release it and start enrolling students by the end of May, but it could happen. So yeah, that'll be kind of good. What else? So class-wise, like I said, I'm working on the Aplerno class. My Marist classes are drawing to a close. They have their final exams, and we have like one more class session left in the semester. I haven't been doing much with Learnist and Curious, but I'm going to be working on putting some more content into those platforms. And I'm looking at, or rather we're looking at, Reason.io. That's the company that my wife and I have that we do all of this under. We're going to be looking at some platforms for developing some classes of our own, in addition to doing the Aplerno classes and some of the other platforms. I'll be doing another Theology Matters towards the end of the month. I'll put a link to that as well. That one will be on evil and Augustine's views on it. He sees evil as a privation of the good, and so that's kind of a weird concept. What does that actually mean? Well, we'll talk all about that. And I'm going to do some more interactive work with the punk rock philosopher. He's interested in Hegel, ties in nicely with the half-hour Hegel classes, so we'll do some stuff on the preface to the Phenomenology. I don't know, maybe we'll mix in some master-slave dialectic stuff as well, because people always like that. But we'll see. And another thing I'm doing in May is I'm working on a proposal and finishing up a sample chapter for a textbook. I've been, I'm at the point in my career where I get a lot of people wanting me to come in and work, for them on projects or collaborate with them on projects. I have another thing that I'm doing on the side that I don't want to say too much about at this point, because it's not quite ready to release, but I'll tell you this. It has to do with critical thinking, and when it comes out, the guy who's working on it, whose brainchild it is, this is really going to be an interesting, useful website, platform, tool for helping people do critical thinking. But I'm doing all that sort of stuff. In any case, got a lot of academic and more organizational commitments. I'm doing some other writing. Like I said, I'm trying to take some of these papers that I've written and turn them into things that can be sent out as articles. I'm still working on the book on Anselm and moral theory. I want to start digging into that a bit more. I've got a lot of notes, but they need to be formulated into actual pages of writing. Same thing with my Aristotle and Anger book. Been taking a lot of notes, been thinking a lot about his theory of anger and other people's theories and the phenomenon that we experience with it, but I have not actually been sitting in front of the computer doing the sort of tippity-tap stuff that needs to happen in order for it to become a manuscript. So I need to hunker down and get to that. And once classes are over, that becomes a lot easier. So a lot going on in May, not as much out there, more in the studio, more on my computer, more up in my head. April was extremely busy. I'm very happy to have had the chance to get to talk with as many people and interact with people and bring philosophy out there beyond just the ivory tower walls of academia, and get other people interested in reading these texts and thinking about these great writers. So that wraps it up for the updates. If there's anything else, maybe I'll post it in a comment or something like that as an addendum.